We represent the Lollipop Guild. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tell Me About Your Damn Book. I'm your host, Stephen Lomer, and with me today is a romance author, a contemporary romance author, by the name of Peggy Jaeger. Peggy, welcome.
Thank you so much, Steve. I'm thrilled to be here.
Thank you for coming. My God, you came a long way.
Yeah, 2.5 hours in the car.
2.5 hours in the car, people, to come to this.
I wouldn't miss it. I love Tell Me About Your Damn Book. I watch all the podcasts.
Tell me about your damn book. So, you are a contemporary romance writer.
Yes.
You write about strong women, the families who support them, and the men who can't live without them.
Yes, and that tagline my daughter actually came up with.
Really?
For me. About 3 years ago when I had to open up my website, I needed a strong tagline, and I kept telling her, I need something that's going to resonate with people, and I don't want it to be like puppies and unicorns and la 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 happy H, HEA, all that stuff. So she said, well, what do you write about? My daughter doesn't read my stuff. She did a long time ago, but she doesn't anymore.
She doesn't?
No, she's too busy.
Okay.
And,
Sure.
She said, tell me what you write about. And I said, well, I write about strong women like me. Mm-hmm. I write about families because I was an only child and I didn't have any brothers and sisters growing up, and I wanted to invent good families. And I write about men who really think that they can't live without the women that they love. She goes, that's your tagline. I said, that's a little wordy. She said, break it down. I write about strong women, families who support them, and the men who can't live without them. And ta-da, my tagline was born.
There you go.
And that's truthfully every book I have ever written. That is the premise for the book. Strong women, families, and men who love them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I am an only child myself, so clearly the only children thing about us being amazingly talented, good-looking.
Shy.
No. Talented, good-looking, great in bed, all of those things are true about the only child, obviously. The proof of it is sitting right here at this table, right?
Okay,
right?
Yes, okay.
The place where we diverge is you are such a prolific author. I was doing my research on you, aside from the research that you sent me that I had requested, and you have a, pardon my French, shit ton of books out there on Amazon.
Yeah.
How many do you have? Do you know?
At the end of this year, it'll be 15.
15
13
books.
are original books, and 2 of them are anthologies that my books got put into by the publisher. But it's not hard to write like that. I don't have a life, truthfully. My beautiful daughter, is grown and gone and living on her own. My husband's a doctor, so he works like 14 hours, 6 to 7 days a week.
Okay.
I don't have a dog, unfortunately. I don't have a pet, and all my friends still work outside the home. I retired in 2015, so I have a lot of time on my hands to write. My husband actually says I have too much time on my hands. But
what does your husband know?
Is
he an only child?
No, he's
well,
the
then
oldest
he wouldn't
of
know.
6. That's
he wouldn't know. He doesn't understand us.
No, he doesn't. But so yes, I do write a lot. I write fast. I write a lot, and it's what I do. I treat it like a job.
So, what time frame have you written these 15 books in?
So, I've always been a writer. When I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, and early 50s, I wrote a lot of nonfiction stuff. I did a lot of magazine stuff, parenting articles, stuff like that, nursing articles.
So boring stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that doesn't really pay. But I always loved romance. So I always read romance. And then one day I got an idea for a book, and I said, you know what, I'm going to write this book. Now, at the same time that I decided to do this, I was literally going through the worst menopause God ever, or Mother Nature ever gave a woman. I was awake 23 hours a day, sweating 23 and a half hours a day. It was really miserable. So
wow.
I was up every night. I was up from like midnight till the next time I went to bed the next night. So I started using the time wisely. My husband was asleep. Mm-hmm. So I went upstairs to my office and I started it wasn't my office then, it was the attic. And I started writing.
So you went up to the attic?
I went up to the attic and I wrote privately every day for like 4 hours, from like 1 to 5 every day. And at 5 I got my husband up for work. And within 3 months I had a book that I liked. So I didn't know anything about publishing. I still don't after these years. But I sent it off to a contest because I figured a contest will get you some exposure, you'll get some feedback. Mm-hmm. You might be able to get somebody to tell you it sucks.
Sure,
hey, I kind of like that. And that's what happened. I got a, hey, I kind of like that. And it won my contest division. And the editor who she wasn't an editor, she was a publisher, who judged it was Rhonda Penders from the Wild Rose Press. So she sent me an email and said, I really like this. can you send it to us? And I started writing it in 2014, and it was published in 2015.
Wow.
Less than 13 months later.
Wow.
And since then, I have had a book released almost every 3 months. This is the longest I've gone. The last time I had a book published was April of this year. It was April of this year, and now I have 4 in a row that have coming out in the next 6 weeks. So it's been a little bit stressful the past couple of weeks, but yeah. So it's my job.
Wow.
It's my job.
So, ladies, if you're thinking about getting into this career, a brutal menopause is apparently key. And also having a husband that you have to wake up at 5 a.m.
It's not so much the menopause as it is the insomnia and the night sweats that come from the menopause.
The insomnia and the night sweats, sure.
Because you're laying there in bed sweating like a pig, farm animal, sweating like a farm animal, and there's nothing to do but get up and get dry and then take a shower, and then I didn't want to wake him up, so I went and I did stuff.
Fair enough. Now, tell me about the difference as far as how difficult it was between writing your first novel and the novels you're writing now.
It's so much easier now.
Yeah?
It's so much easier because, truthfully, now I know what's expected. In the beginning, I just wrote basically what I wanted to read, and which is not bad. I read a lot of stuff that a lot of people read and a lot of people like, but I had to narrow down what I really wanted to write for myself. Like I said, the tagline came after I'd already had my first book published. So when I narrowed down what I wanted to write, it was easier. Plus, I outline. I'm a big outliner.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm a registered nurse in a former life, so I have a very huge scientific background. So I hypothesize and theorize and do everything with the scientific method, and that includes plotting.
You're also annoyingly organized.
I know. I think that's an only child thing too. Aren't you annoyingly organized?
No, I'm a pantser.
Oh, you are.
I'm a pure pantser,
I have to tell you, I am so impressed that as a male, you know what that word means. No man I know. You're the first man.
Is that right?
You're the first man I know that says that.
Cheers to me. There's nothing in her cup.
It's a
magic.
But it's a nice prop.
It is. Look at that. Tell me about your damn book logo that's on there. That's good
Available
stuff.
probably on their website.
No.
These Coming soon.
No. No, these are exclusive. You can't have these mugs unless you're on the show. You also can't have that. You have to leave it for the next guest.
It's a good thing I didn't put any water in it.
So I am the only one.
You are the only male that I know that knows that word. So my hat tips to you.
Wow.
But I am a diehard plotter. I tried to pants a book recently, like the past year, and I had such agita from doing it. I said, no, I have to sit down and step by step by step by step. I need to know where I'm going. I'm that annoyingly only child that when you get in the car with me, I'll say, where are we going? How are we getting there? Are we there yet? And I know. That's why my parents don't drive.
Oof.
That's the reason why they never learned how to drive.
I'm not driving with you either.
No, most people don't. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah, all I need to know is the beginning and the end, and then I just I let the story take me wherever it's going.
I'm so impressed by people that can do that, and I think that is a really creative mind. I have to be honest with you. That's the true essence of a creative mind, that you just let, for lack of a better word, your muse or your creativity just flow through. I don't know that I have that much creativity because I have to know. Maybe I have the creativity when I'm doing the outline. Maybe.
Obviously, there's got to be some creativity in there somewhere because you're writing books and people are buying them. Yes. They all have great reviews. Because I used to do a gimmick on the show where I would find a bad review of a book.
I have one. I have a couple actually.
Yeah, I saw that. But for the most part, people love what you're doing, which is great.
I actually like talking about my bad review. I wrote a little novella for the Wild Rose Press that was part of a Candy Hearts series for Valentine's Day, and a lady gave me a 1. Now, if you're a reviewer and you review books, 5 is the ultimate. 4 is pretty good. 3, you like the book, there's nothing to write home about. 2, take it or leave it, but a 1, the review said that I wrote the wrong book. There was a subplot in the book, and the reviewer thought that I should have written about the subplot. And I was like, thank you, have a lovely day, and I'm going to talk about this review everywhere I go because it's so stupid. If you wanted me to write that book, you write that book.
Yeah, why don't you write the book?
Instead of writing a scathingly nasty review, write the damn book.
Yes. That person can write Peggy Jaeger fanfic.
Oh,
You know what I'm
ooh.
saying? They could just take that subplot and be like, I love Peggy Jaeger, but this is what I'm going to write, and they could do their own fan fiction.
I hope you're listening, bad reviewer.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Bad reviewer, whatever,
I hope
whoever
you're
you are.
listening. Yeah, whoever, whatever, wherever.
Whatever rock you climb back under.
Climb under it again.
Why romance?
Okay, so again, only child.
Mm-hmm.
I get into a lot of this on my blog because I use my blog almost like free therapy. But I didn't have the best childhood, and my parents were divorced when I was an infant, and both of them remarried. You know, luckily they've both been remarried to those people for 50 years, but they weren't the most stable of marriages. So I didn't see a lot of happiness growing up. In fact, and most of the people in my family, aunts, uncles, they all got divorced. And maybe it was the times, it was the 60s and 70s when women were coming into their own. Love was now free love, and you could
Key
get birth
parties.
control. Yeah, I didn't say it. And so
Remember to edit that out.
or not.
Or not.
So I didn't see very many happy marriages coming up. And truthfully, I never thought I would get married. I thought, this is not for me. I don't really know how to be a married person. And then I met my husband. Strict Irish Catholic, the oldest of 6, stable family, there's not a rotten apple in the bunch. They all have amazing marriages. And I thought, you know what, maybe if I aligned myself like Game of Thrones with somebody like that, I would learn how to be a good wife and learn how to be married. So in the back of my mind, I always thought, even though I wouldn't get married, that everybody deserved to have a happily ever after in their lives. And that's why I write romance. Because at the end of every romance, there is either a happily ever after, a promise of a happily ever after, or maybe a happily ever after right now and we're going to get better. And I love that. I just love, there's so much darkness in the world right now.
True.
So much darkness.
So much darkness.
That, to read something that takes you out of the sadness for a little bit makes me happy.
Huh.
And if I can make me happy, I know I can make other people happy.
Very true. Very true. So you married into House Jaeger.
Yes.
Okay.
Jaeger clan.
The Jaeger, so you're north of the wall?
No, the only thing German about my husband, believe it or not, is his last name. They are his mother was 100% Irish and his mother was 99%. The only thing German is the last name.
Only the last name.
Yeah. So
Picked it up along the way.
My daughter likes to really brag that she's 99.99% Irish, which is even more than Irish people are. So
Yeah, that's true. I'm probably about 50% Irish, and
I know I liked you.
the other half, just ignore the other half. That's the French Canadian.
Well, that's
half.
what
We
Irish
don't need
people
to-
usually do too. They ignore the other half.
Sure. Yeah. They just appeal to this half. We need to step away for a brief moment. We will be right back with Peggy Jaeger. Welcome back to Tell Me About Your Damn Book. I'm here with Peggy Jaeger, and this, after a lot of angling and re-angling, repositioning, we finally have it so that you can see this beautiful cover, and you can see the title, and you can see the author's name, so
Which
that
is more important.
when you go onto Amazon, you will know all of the important things that you'll be looking for. But to find out what's in here, I'm going to have to go with the show's tagline and say, Peggy Jaeger,
About your damn book.
that's my line.
I didn't say it.
Peggy Jaeger, tell me about your damn book.
You got it. So obviously, from what we were talking about, it is a contemporary romance, and the reason it's contemporary is because
Wait! Tell them what the title is.
Oh, I'm sorry. The title is Dearly Beloved, parentheses, A Match Made in Heaven, Book 1. Now, before you start thinking it's a Christian book or a spiritual book because it says heaven, Heaven is the name of the town. It's a small town in New Hampshire, Heaven, New Hampshire. I'm from a small town in New Hampshire. So that's why, you write what you know. So I wrote about a small town in New Hampshire, but I made it up, and it's called Heaven.
Okay.
So Dearly Beloved. It's the first in a 4-book arc, and it involves 3 sisters in the small town of Heaven.
Okay.
So the premise for the book, I have a beautiful daughter, lovely daughter, who attended 2 weddings of her sorority sisters about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Both of the weddings took place in Vermont, but neither one of the brides or the grooms were from Vermont. They were from all over the United States. The reason they chose Vermont was because they found venues where everything was included, like in a one-shop package, one-stop shopping.
Wow.
The church, the venue, where the people could stay, the reception, it was all in the same place. And I thought, what a great idea for a book. And then I started thinking, well, that's a good premise for a book, but it's not what I write about. I write about the people that go into the book. So then I said, well, what would happen if you had maybe a family of people who ran a wedding business? So then I invented the O'Dowd sisters. Now I'm Irish, so of course they're Irish too.
Okay.
So there's 3 sisters, and they're a little bit older than the norm. Usually contemporary romances nowadays are about girls in their late 20s or millennials or early 30s. My girls, the oldest is pushing 40. She's 39 plus, like 39 and 9 months. There's a 6-year-old and a 31-year-old. So they're a little bit older than the norm. And there was a 4th sister who died. And that was the impetus for how this book started. So there were 4 sisters, 1 set of twins. The set of twins bought an inn in New Hampshire, in their hometown of Heaven, New Hampshire, and they call it In Heaven. I believe in the business they call that a pun, but I'm not sure if I'm correct. Anyway,
I know a thing or 2 about puns. Trust me.
I look at your website. I know you do. So as soon as the ink dried on the paper, the older of the twins, by 3 minutes, was diagnosed with breast cancer. Within a year, she was dead. So that sister the sister who survived will have her story in book 3, but book 1 concerns Colleen O'Dowd. She's the middle daughter. And to show you how Irish Catholic these people are in their roots, her name is Colleen Sinead Moira O'Dowd.
Wow.
She was engaged for 10 years to her college sweetheart, who she discovered cheating on her in her own bed right after they got engaged. So she left him. The worst part about that is the person that he was cheating with was a co-worker of hers. So she left her job and she started her own bridal business. She worked for a bridal magazine, so then she started her own bridal business. At the same time all of this was happening, Eileen, the sister who died, got cancer. So Colleen moved back home to help her family and help her sisters through that. Her parents, after the sister died, decamped. They couldn't take living in the same town that one of their children had died. So the girls were left with this fledgling business and their 93-year-old grandmother, Nanny Fee, to take care of. Now, Nanny Fee is the type of grandmother I want to be when I'm 93. God willing, I get to 93. She's feisty, she's a community activist, she's a political activist, and she tells you what she thinks. No filtering. I kind of think I may be like that now.
Yeah, maybe a little.
So, the premise of the book is Colleen has been hired to do a wedding for a socialite by the name of Isabella Harrington. Her older brother Slade is paying for the wedding, and Slade and Colleen are oil and water. They do not mix, they rub up against each other. It's not a frenemies to lovers, it's more like I hate you to lovers in the end kind of a book. And the entire story revolves around the 2 of them and how they come to find their own happily ever after.
Wow.
And it's kind of thick because I'm wordy, but
yeah, I was noticing that. Like, I don't want to screw up the what we established here, but look at that.
It's 100,000 words.
There's some serious.
And it was edited.
That's some. I mean, this'll carry you through your your holidays.
I had a great review. The first review of the book, the line that I loved in the review said, "For those long winter nights, this book will get you through."
Long winter nights. Very nice.
Really cool.
Yes.
Long winter, cold nights. So that's the premise of the book. And it was a lot of fun writing about sisters again because I'm an only child. So I wrote the sisters I wish I always had. And if I had been a big sister, the sister I would have been. So, I mean, that's a little schmaltzy and it may be corny, but again, there's so much darkness in the world. I kind of think that's a nice thing.
Sure.
Have family and sisters and
Yeah.
help them through thick and thin.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Now, this is book 1.
This is book 1.
Now, this is out, this is
It
available.
came out on November 12th. It's available at Amazon, in Kindle, ebook, and print copy. It's available in Kobo, iTunes, Amazon, and through the Wild Rose Press. So basically, anywhere you can buy a book that's not a brick and mortar store.
My goodness.
I work with the Wild Rose Press, and they're a digital first company. So that means that these books are called POD, print on demand.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't go out to bookstores, but you can buy them on print on any of those websites.
Do they have them in bus terminals, places like that? Anything?
No, because they're not print first. They're print
Oh,
on demand,
right.
so
Yeah,
they don't
sorry,
go into
I forgot.
any kind
Yeah,
of.
no bus
I
terminals.
would love if they were in airports.
Oh,
I mean,
that
on a
well,
long
sure,
ride.
don't we all want that?
Yeah, right. That's my goal in life, is to be in an airport or be someplace where somebody can walk into a store and say, "Do you have the newest Peggy Jaeger?" "Oh, yes, we do, right here." That's my goal in life. It really is.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. When will we see book 2?
It's currently being written right now. I was telling Stephen before, it's been a little stressful in my life right now because I had 3 brand new books come out at the same time, which was just a quirk of fate. This is a fall book, and it's themed as fall in New England. It was supposed to come out at the end of August, the beginning of September, but at the same time I had a Christmas book that was in edits that's coming out next month, and I was part of a novella series that came out in October. So I was writing 3 books and editing 3 books and trying to get my poor editor through 3 books at the same time. So they all came out at the same time. So book 2 had to get put to the back burner. So it's almost done.
Okay.
I'm hopefully going to send it to my editor in January, start a new year, start a new book. And that's a winter book, so hopefully it'll be out the same time next year. I'm hoping anyway.
Okay.
We'll see.
Nice.
See what my editor says.
And just so that we capture this for posterity forever, because this will live on YouTube as long as there will be a
terrifying.
YouTube. Tell us the Whitey Bulger story.
Oh my God. Okay, so here's the deal. This book was written last year and went to my editor last November. Again, I wanted it to be out this September 2018 or August of 2018, and it got pushed back. So in the book, there is a passage where my 93-year-old grandma, Nanny Fee, her real name is Fiona, is as blind as a dingbat, but she doesn't let anybody know. So she's still driving around on her own, and she's late for an appointment, so she blows through a stop sign, and of course the local cop stops her and arrests her. So Colleen is pulled into the police station because her older sister, who's a lawyer and who is in charge of Nanny Fee, is in court, can't come out of court. So they go into the police station, and Nanny Fee is distraught, screaming and yelling in her Irish accent that she was pulled over, chased down Glory Road, lights were blaring, and she actually says, "Lights were blasting, sirens were blaring, chasing me down as if I was Whitey Bulger himself come back from the grave." And Colleen says, "I didn't correct Nanny that Whitey Bulger is living out his days incarcerated in a federal prison." Well, when this book was written, he was. We all know about 2 weeks ago, well, maybe not all, maybe only people in New England know, but about 2 weeks ago, Whitey Bulger was shanked in the shower in the federal prison. I think that's where he got it. He might have been in his bed.
He was in his cell.
He was in his cell.
In his wheelchair.
Shanked in his wheelchair. Can you believe an 83-year-old guy shanked in his wheelchair? So he is now with his maker. But when he wasn't, when this book was written, he was not. So if you read this book and you know about the story of Whitey Bulger and that he is dead, please do not email me. I'm not stupid. I do my research. When this book was written, and had it come out in September or August, it would have been appropriate. We wouldn't have had any issues. But now I know that I have very intelligent and very thorough readers. Please, when you come to that passage, don't be thinking, she's an idiot. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't do her research. Trust me, I do. That's my Whitey Bulger story.
Shut up, people. Leave her alone. Crying
didn't-
out loud.
He said that.
I can say that. They're not my fans.
And it's also his show. You can say whatever you want.
That's right. I can say whatever I
We got
want.
a situation here. You can say whatever you want.
Nice. Yes. With great power comes great responsibility.
And
So,
also a lot of fun.
yeah, absolutely. So we have come to a segment on the show known as The Five.
Oh, I'm nervous now.
You should be. The Five is 5 standardized questions that we ask every author who comes on. Tell me
Okay.
about your damn book.
Okay.
Are you willing and able? Are you over 18?
Yeah, a couple of times. 4 times.
Good.
Yes.
Good. All right. The Five. Question 1. If they published an author's yearbook today and you were in it, what would you be voted most likely to do?
To do? I would be voted most likely to go up and kiss the quarterback who doesn't like me. Is that a thing?
I guess.
Or let's think of another superlative. I would be voted...
Which quarterback are you talking
Well,
about?
I was in high school, a millennia ago, literally, in the last century.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and there was a quarterback that I really liked, but he didn't know I was alive. So I would be voted most likely to kiss the quarterback.
But we're talking about if it were published today.
Oh, today?
Today, if it was an author's yearbook published today, what would you be voted most likely to do now?
Most likely to put her foot in her mouth. I kind of think that says it all right there.
Perfect. Question 2. Which 4 faces would appear on your author's Mount Rushmore?
Oh, Nora Roberts, Lauren Lane, Kirsten Higgins, and Jennifer Probst.
Boom! That's the fastest we've ever had anyone give their
are my
authors
favorite authors
on
right
Mount
now.
Rushmore.
Those are my
Impressive.
favorite authors right
There's
now.
usually a lot of hemming and hawing, a lot of like, why did you not prepare me for this question? But no, boom, all done. Sweet. Question 3. What's something about you that almost nobody knows?
I think they know about it now, but until a couple of weeks ago, nobody knew that I really, really like scary movies. And I'm not talking about like torture porn like Saw and all those other ones. I mean like really Alfred Hitchcocky, don't go in the woods, don't go down the basement, don't go up the stairs, music playing in the background, psychological thrillers. I really, really, and I'll sit there like this. And I know it's coming, because usually those kind of movies, the minute the music goes low and the lights around the edges dim, you know that there's some shit coming.
Sure.
And those are my favorite movies, so I love scary movies. Love, love, love.
So that's something that people don't know
But
about
not
you
torture
necessarily.
porn. I don't
Not-
like gore for gore's sake, and
Right.
like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That would have been a good movie without all the blood, because it had a good premise. But not the no, I don't like blood.
Okay.
I don't like all that.
Fair enough. Question 4. What is your favorite curse word, and in what phrase would you be most likely to use it?
Okay, so my favorite curse word is not really a curse, but it's crap on a stick, because it makes absolutely no sense. And I was driving once when my daughter was about 8, and something happened like outside, like I had to come to a stop, and I was really, really mad, and I almost went like that, but then I went, crap on a stick! And my daughter's name is Erin, and she looked at me, she says, I don't know what that means. I said, Erin, I don't know what it means either, but it sounds really good. So now I use crap on a stick for everything. And everybody knows when I say crap on a stick, it really means a bad word that starts with an F, ends with a K, and has UC in it. So.
Now wait, let me think here. Okay, I'm piecing this together now.
And I use it for everything. If I drop a cup, not this one. But if I
Oh,
drop a
God.
cup in the kitchen, crap on a stick, people laugh now when they hear it. They really do.
Crap on a stick.
Crap on a stick.
Okay.
Makes no sense.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I like it. It's original. And question 5, if the world ended right after this video, what final message would you want to convey to your fans?
I am so honored that anybody thinks that what I've written is worth paying money for. I wrote for myself. I wrote my first book for myself because it was in me, and I wanted to get it out, and I loved my characters. The fact that somebody, Rhonda Penders, the publisher of Wild Rose Press, the fact that she thought it was worthy and meritable was the greatest, one of the top 5 days of my life. So I would say thank you to anybody that drops down cash money for something that I wrote. Because for 40 years I wrote for no money. I just wrote for the pleasure of writing articles and stuff. So that's what I would say.
Nice.
Thank you for supporting me.
That's beautiful. And there is no better way to wrap up than on that. The book is Dearly Beloved, Book 1 in the Match Made in Heaven series. It's available through all of those outlets
book
that you
outlets,
told.
yes.
Give them one more time.
Amazon, Kobo, iTunes, Apple, Google Play, Wild Rose Press, and I think Books A Million too.
Nice. Go pick it up, people.
Please, support a sister.
Thanks, everybody. Cheers.